Hi there, I'm Crystal Allen. We want to update you on the breaking news we've been following all morning, all afternoon, happening near Nellis and Stewart. 5 people are dead following an ambush at a Cici's Pizza shop. The carnage then carried over into a Walmart where the suspected gunman opened fire. Among the 5 dead, 2 Metro police officers, an innocent bystander there in the store, and we also understand the gunmen are dead as well. Our Elizabeth Donatelli has been live on the scene all afternoon, just really giving us updates and taking us back as this whole thing unfolded. Elizabeth, any new information that you can convey to us at this time?
Crystal, a terrifying situation. These are very, very powerful and scary things that have been happening, not just for the people who are directly affected, but the people indirectly affected as well.
Absolutely. Elizabeth doing a great job on the scene reporting there, really taking us to the scene and getting us up to speed with what's going on. Our Antonio Castellan will also be bringing us an in-depth report. Again, you were mentioning about what the people were seeing, experiencing, just these really gripping stories that we're hearing, and he's going to bring us more of that a little bit later in our 6 o'clock newscast. So we thank you for that, Elizabeth. We'll definitely check back in with you. And we understand that we told you that press conference that was going to be underway could take place any minute now. I understand they're doing mic checks, so we really could get it again any minute. It's going to be at Metro Police headquarters. We're hoping to get a better idea of just, how this all unfolded, maybe get a better idea of what might have been the intention of these suspected gunmen possibly targeting these police officers. Let's go ahead and take you back that timeline of how this all took place. This started about 11:38, the initial call coming in that officers were down at the Cici's Pizza shop near Nellis and Stewart. According to Metro, the suspects then stripped the officers of their weapons and then went across the street to that Walmart where they shot and killed just an innocent bystander, a customer. We understand, as Elizabeth saying, they were yelling something to the extent of everyone get out. Just a lot of chaos during that melee that was going on. Then the suspects, according to Metro, had some sort of suicide pact and took their own lives. So again, in all, 5 people dead after this carnage that's unfolded at a Cici's Pizza shop and also at a Walmart shortly thereafter. We also got a statement from Cici's Pizza shop responding to the tragedy that's unfolded here in our valley. Kelly Sparks of the Communications Department saying that we are deeply saddened by this tragic event and our hearts go out to the family and friends of the officers. While we don't have additional details to share, the Cici's Pizza on Nellis Boulevard is closed until further notice while the police conduct their investigation. Cici's is assisting police in any way we can, and we should know that we have News 3 crews all over. Obviously, you saw Elizabeth Donatelli there at the crime scene where a lot of it's still taped off. They're investigating witnesses. They're really trying to get a better idea of just what happened here. This is a developing situation, very active scene there. We also have crews at UMC where we have learned that the body of one of the officers killed being transported from UMC to the coroner's office. Again, 2 Metro officers losing their lives in this situation. As I mentioned, the press conference expected to get underway any moment. We're looking at the live images right now. Our Sergio Avila will be there. Again, maybe we'll get a better idea of, if these suspected gunmen might be affiliated with some type of organization, some type of group, whether they acted alone. They said something to the extent of the revolution has begun when they went in and ambushed those 2 police officers who were simply on their break at that Cici's Pizza shop. We will also have our Tom Hawley flying over the scene at 5 o'clock. So again, we have News 3 crews all over this. We want to definitely bring you the most up-to-date information and give you as much as we can. Let's go ahead and go back to images of the live scene. Again, still very active. Elizabeth Donatelli kind of getting us up to speed and detailing exactly what's happening right now. You see a lot of it still taped off. A lot of officers still there, witnesses who were there during this ordeal inside that Walmart when those shots rang out, also inside the Cici's Pizza shop. They're trying to interview those individuals to get a better idea of what they saw, what they heard, what they experienced. Again, trying to put all these pieces together to figure out what happened here? Still a lot of unanswered questions very early in this investigation. And obviously, the police community reeling over this. Anytime you lose one of your own, a very difficult situation. I even saw an image of a police officer, with his head down, appearing to be crying, very visibly upset over the situation and what's unfolded. So anytime one of your own is taken, obviously, it's a very difficult situation. And the last situation that I can recall where something of this extent happened was Sergeant Henry Prendez back in 2006, where he answered a domestic call and then he was ambushed by that suspect on the scene. So again, just a very tragic situation unfolding here in our valley, but we're definitely doing our best to stay on top of things. I'm looking at a live image here in our studio of the press conference. Again, no one at the microphone, but hopefully we're expecting to get something very soon. And we're going to go ahead and go back to the Twitter pics. Thank you for our producer, Christine, getting that called up. Antonio Castellan was there live at the scene. Again, in these situations, social media playing such a critical role in capturing what's happening in real time. There you see some of the police cars there on the scene. Again, this happening near Nellis and Stewart, just a typical Sunday afternoon. Usually Sundays, very quiet, not too much going on. Obviously, you'd never expect something like this to happen while you're sitting in a pizza shop, maybe having lunch with your family, your friends. And obviously, this was a very, very scary situation unfolding for those who saw it firsthand, witnessing these two officers as they are on their break, being ambushed by these suspected gunmen, then stripping those weapons from those officers and then going over to the nearby Walmart. And the carnage just continued. They yelled something to the extent of, everyone get out. So a lot of confusion at the scene as this was all unfolding. I understand our Elizabeth Donatelli may have a little bit more information to convey, so we're going to go back out to her. She's been doing a lot, giving us these live reports throughout the afternoon. Elizabeth, what else can you tell us at this point in time?
Yeah, Crystal, we wanted to just kind of give you a feel of what it's like out here. Are you guys able to hear us?
Like we're having some audio issues there. This is live TV, so we're just kind of rolling with things as they go along. We'll try to bring Elizabeth Donatelli back into the conversation as soon as we can. But again, just to reiterate, we have a lot of our assets spread all across the city, really trying to cover this from every angle. Actually, I understand we have Elizabeth's audio back up and ready. So with that being said, Elizabeth, let's take it out to you out there in the field.
So it's just been, a tough situation.
Elizabeth, you talked about the heaviness, in all of this, and anytime you hear about just a tragic situation like this, just senseless violence unfolding here, it just really grips you. And, to hear those stories, again, I think we'll be hearing more about some of these employees and other people who just really stepped up and showed a lot of heroism in a very deadly and dangerous situation. We thank you, Elizabeth, for continuing to bring us these live reports. But right now, we're going to go to another reporter, our Sandra Gonzalez, who we have live on the phone, I understand, from the coroner's office, if I'm not mistaken, producers. Is that correct? All right, let's go ahead and go to Sandra Gonzalez right now, live on the phone. Sandra, can you hear us?
Crystal, I can hear you. I've been standing outside the coroner's office for perhaps a half hour or longer, but a very solemn moment, Crystal, that just happened right now at the coroner's office. Crystal?
Sandra, thank you for bringing us that information, really just giving us a visual and taking us there as those officers' bodies were taken to the coroner's office. Thank you, Sandra Gonzalez, for bringing us that report. And now we're going to send it back out to Antonio Castellan, who's been live at the scene. Now, you've been outside that Walmart, and I remember in our last break-in just some of the stories that you were sharing about a mother just saying, with her child, saying, we're just lucky to be alive because of what just happened here. Continue to share with us some of the other things you've been hearing from those witnesses as they were going through this horrific ordeal.
Well, Crystal, a lot of the people out here, a lot of the customers and employees, they are saying that they are lucky to be alive. But those are the stories that we are hearing, and we will bring you more of those stories soon. Crystal,
all right, Antonio, thank you for that. We're going to go right over to that Metro press conference where we think it's going to get underway right now. Can we bring up those images right now of that Metro press conference? We saw one of the officers, Sheehan, I believe he is, come out and post this. So we're thinking these may be the two officers who were killed in that ordeal. And let's go to Sheriff Doug Gillespie right now for that press conference.
We will stay in contact with you and update you as the investigation unfolds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
You're welcome.
All right, back here in the News 3 studio, we are seeing the press conference just wrapping up. Again, Sheriff Doug Gillespie saying that is a tragic day, a very difficult day, 2 of their own being killed in this ambush, which ultimately 5 people are dead now as a result of the situation that unfolded starting around 11 o'clock, give or take, at that CC's Pizza Shop, and then continued at the Walmart across the street. Joined on set here by Gerard Romalo to continue with our coverage.
Thanks, Crystal. And obviously, the sheriff very carefully wording his answers here today.
Yes.
This is very early in the investigation,
Absolutely.
so understandably, they're still trying to get their ducks in a row and figure out exactly what led up to this, what precipitated this tragic shooting incident that resulted in so many deaths. The sheriff mentioned that he's looking into all of that, and he's got his investigators looking into all of that at this point.
Obviously, so we don't want to assume anything prematurely. You know, you have all of these speculation, and a lot of speculation out there as to what it could be. Obviously, these officers were ambushed in this situation. We don't know if they were affiliated with some group or some organization, but I'm sure that investigation will continue to kind of sort some of these details out. We learned that those 2 officers were 42-year-old Alan Beck and also 32-year-old Igor Saldo. And the sheriff saying that they were both family men, leaving loved ones behind. A lot of hearts are heavy.
I had a chance to talk to a couple of officers on my way in today, and those that I spoke with said that at least one of the victims here was married with several children. So this is the situation that we're looking at here. We have some video. I believe, is this live video that we're looking at?
I think it's video we rolled on earlier. I believe this is what Sandra Gonzalez was mentioning when the officers' bodies were being, the flag-draped coffins were being carried into the coroner's office there. And obviously, it's very difficult anytime a situation like this happens. The officers really rallying around their own in the community, also wrapping their arms around these officers and their families. In fact, we have Sandra Gonzalez on the phone. She was there when this procession unfolded. They were shutting down the streets. The officers there standing in uniform, paying tribute to their fallen brothers. Sandra, go right ahead.
If that just gives you a glimpse into the hearts of the officers right now as they're mourning the loss of their 2 fellow policemen. Crystal?
A lot of heavy hearts, Sandra, indeed. Thank you so much for taking us to that scene. And right now, we are going to go back to Metro headquarters where that press conference just ramped up. We're going to send it over to our Sergio Avila, who was there. Sergio, what can you tell us? Kind of give us some of the highlights of this press conference.
There's still a lot of questions as to what happened in this today at that Walmart and at that CC's Pizza. We'll have to wait for more information as soon as we get it. Reporting live, Sergio Avila, News 3.
All right, Sergio, thanks for the update out there from the press conference. Our coverage, of course, on this just beginning, really. This is going to be a long investigation, and we will stay on top of it all the way. Again, Officer Alan Beck, Officer Igor Saldo, victims in this. A third victim, a citizen who has not been identified. In fact, I'm hearing that the word hero might be applied to this citizen because he actually prevented further tragedy and further death through his actions. So we are learning more by the minute here at News 3.
And we will definitely keep you posted. Stay with us. News 3 live at 5. We'll have more on this developing story.